My name's Sarah and I'm a nutritionist, and I'm going to be talking to you today about some of the problems that you might be facing about cooking a home cooked meal, and sometimes maybe when you might go to the freezer and get a ready meal, and maybe if that's a good or not such a good choice. So I've been running workshops for about the last 10 years in a variety of settings, in children's centres and schools, even the corporate world, helping parents to make those changes to make their lives a little bit easier, a little bit healthier. And throughout this video, I'm going to be sharing some of those thoughts with you. So let's just have a little bit of a think about maybe what happens when you go home at the end of the day and you're tired, your children are tired, and the thought of cooking a meal really is the last thing on your mind. So you often might just turn to the freezer and pull out that bag of nuggets, all those smiley faces. You might take the tomato ketchup and put a squeeze on it and give that to your child. And that, once in a blue moon or once every now and again, is absolutely fine. But however, giving that child every night is really not an ideal situation. Unfortunately, these foods are full of fat and sugar and salt, and all of those combinations together are leading to a rise in childhood obesity, which then leads to a rise in adult obesity, which then leads to a rise in different diseases, heart diseases, diabetes, loads of other related diseases, which really you don't want you and your kids to have, really. So let me try and help you to understand other ways that you might be able to not rely so much on quick convenience foods. If you were to give your child foods that are quick and convenient, like your pizzas and your takeaways and your chicken nuggets, all these foods are made specifically to have a food taste, high in fat, high in salt, high in sugar. And if your child is given these foods repeatedly, then they will get what we call a food preference for them. So the child will learn that they will want these foods, they like these foods. And there is a study that we can show you that these children will actually then only want to eat these foods. So if you want your child to start eating healthier foods, it's the time to do it now, and don't leave it too late. Try introducing all different kinds of healthy food that we're going to be talking about, and your fruit and vegetables, which is so important, and water, which is so important, and all these things to try and help your child not get that pure food preference just purely for the wrong types of foods. We'll be talking in a later video about how important it is, actually the importance of a healthy diet. Just want to touch quickly on food labels as well. So I just want to say that when you actually do pick up a jar or a ready meal, having for an everyday, every now and again is absolutely fine, but just be careful that you read the food labels. So at the front of the packet, there will be sometimes colour coding that might be red, it might be orange, and it might be green. Now ideally you want it to be green. And then if it's orange, that's okay. And if it's red, it's like, oh, wow, okay, not so good for us. But make sure you always read the small information at the top of that, because it might be that it's saying that actually that green bit is actually for a quarter of the jar, and actually you might be eating half the jar or maybe the whole jar. So that might be going to the red. So always read the small print. And then if you're not sure, turn the packet over and read the ingredients list, because then you can then see what's actually in the product, and that might be something that you might want to take in mind as well. So to recap, I'd like to help you make some really easy home cooked meals. And some of the people I've spoken to on giving my workshops have given me some very clear thoughts and ideas that we've talked over the years about why they find cooking from scratch, why they find cooking meals so difficult, that I'd like to share with you. So the one that comes up all the time is people have no time. Sometimes it comes up that parents are generally shocked that they are giving their children food that they don't think is suitable for them. They really want to be feeding their children well, and they really have no implication that the foods they're giving them weren't particularly good for them. Some people generally lack confidence in the kitchen and really have no idea what to cook. Some people think that healthy food's expensive. and that's a shame. And some people just have no idea what to make. So, to help you with some of these thoughts that we just said, let's help you, and maybe some of you can put this into practice. So, planning. Planning is a key thought that will really, really help you. Knowing what you're going to have every night for dinner is just so key. So, write down what you can eat every night. If you want to use a rota if you'd have every week or so, that's absolutely fine. So just make sure that you go to the supermarket or you buy online, and you just make sure that for whatever meal that you're going to have, you have the ingredients in and you know exactly what it is you're going to eat. And then you put it on a board in the kitchen, so whoever's on home first can start cooking that meal, and there is no excuse if someone doesn't know, I didn't know what we're going to eat tonight. If time is a real issue for you, then there are ways we can get around that. Okay, so some of my thoughts are, why not buy a slow cooker? You buy a slow cooker, you can put food in at the beginning of the morning, and then that's all cooked for you when you walk in the door at night. That's just so easy, and you can easily buy already cut out vegetables these days. That just makes your life even easier. Or why not try cooking in bulk? If you cooked in bulk, then double. Cook whatever you need double, obviously, and then without eating it, which is one of the things, is just so you cut it up straight away and you put half that food straight away in a Tupperware box, and then you either put it in the fridge or you freeze it, and that's then a perfect meal for another night. Another way to do it is maybe think about having one night as a leftover night. So if you're like me and you always just cook that little bit too extra every night, and you think, oh, what am I going to do with this food? Don't throw it away. Just put it in a box and have a leftover night. So one night a week, that's your leftover night. So that's brilliant. That means that's one night you don't need to cook, and you can just heat up some food, and that's key. Get the children to help. Children love to cook. Get them involved with the cooking, especially if you think they're not going to eat what you put in front of them. So get them involved in the planning, get them involved in what you're going to be cooking. Let them get involved with that. And even if they don't eat necessarily, what you put in front of them, it's not the end of the world, because they're there, they've tried, they've got involved, and they will try over next time. Have a night maybe where the whole family makes their own meal together. So rather than just one person, either having it's a family joint effort, and maybe you've got younger children, you could always make homemade pizzas. We can talk about that at some other point on another video, where I could show you how to make a really scrummy homemade pizza that's really healthy. Or as the children get older, you could have a go at each person making their own dinner. As long as they tidy up, they've got to tidy up. But that's another key way that takes the onus off the one person. Healthy food, expensive. I find this one a little bit difficult, because I think if you were to buy vegetables, which aren't necessarily expensive, and you can buy them from different places, from cheaper supermarkets, you can buy them from the market, you can buy them tinned, you can buy them frozen, you can make some really delicious meals and use other ingredients such as beans, chickpeas, use lentils, use couscous, so many other ingredients you can use, and you can use them to bulk out meals, you can use them as the main meal, and these can make really delicious home cooked meals. And again, in some other videos, we'll show you some ways to cook with these foods I think you'll find really interesting. And my biggest one that we are going to talk about in another video on itself is we're going to talk about having staples in the cupboard. And staples is huge. So by having staples, I mean like having some pasta, having some beans, having eggs, having flour, having a few staples in the cupboard. So when you come home from work and you haven't managed to go shopping, don't despair. You could always cook something. You always have something in the cupboard that you can do. And it might not be the amazing gourmet meal, but you're making something. And that's really key as well. So that's something else we're going to talk about. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. So to conclude, I hope I have given you some thoughts about why eating ready meals, especially on a regular basis, isn't so good. You're thinking about the rise of obesity, you think about food preferences that children are getting, you're thinking about maybe ways how you can cook a really healthy home cooked meals, some of the problems you might have that you might think actually that's stopping you cooking some of those meals. So maybe try and plan your meals, maybe think about your time, thinking about how you can cook different meals, how you can get the family involved, how you can use online shopping, how there are various ways that you can actually use this so you can actually learn and take that on board to cook healthy cooked meals. So if you have any comments, please leave them below. I'd love to hear them. And I will be running some more videos and we'll be doing some cooking as well. And I really look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.